Dengan izin Ya Arif, persidangan mahkamah bagi petisyen-petisyen untuk penerima masuk sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara dijalankan secara sidang video. Hakim sidang hari ini Ya Arif Hakim Datuk Noorin Binti Badaruddin, Pempetisyen pertama WA-18 dan 137-01/2019 Secara.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Secara, petisyen pertama.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Eng Hui Huang, saya adalah peguam mengusul yang mewakili pempetisyen pertama dan rakan-rakan saya yang bijaksana.
Izin Yang Arif, baik Hani Syamsubbahari bagi pihak Tan Sri Peguam Negara.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, as Mala bagi Majlis Peguam Malaysia.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Wira Primananda bagi pihak Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur dan juga Selangor.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, ini adalah pempetisyen penerima masuk pempetisyen Secara sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya, Yang Arif. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya ingin meneruskan selanjutnya pujahan di dalam bahasa Inggeris, Yang Arif.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih, Yang Arif. If it pleases my lady, I would like to introduce the petitioner, Sarah Shen, born and grew up in Kuala Lumpur. The petitioner is the eldest child in the family and a shining role model for her siblings. The petitioner completed her secondary education in Malaysia and moved on to read law at the University of Sheffield. Upon graduation, the petitioner went on to pursue her bar professional training course at City University of London in the United Kingdom. Her time taking the BPTC was spent meaningfully, and upon introspection, the petitioner realized that she longed to return to her home country, Malaysia, to continue her legal journey. At the end of her bar studies, the petitioner received a grade of very competent and commenced a pupillage with Messrs. Adnan Sundra and Lau under the tutelage of Mr. Ramesh Satasivam. Today, after a heartfelt journey, the petitioner would like to take this opportunity to express her unceasing gratitude to her family. Without the support, the petitioner would not have been able to overcome the difficulties faced and obstacles over the years and where she is now. The petitioner would also like to thank her pupil master, Mr. Ramesh, for always being the shining beacon of guidance throughout her pupillage. The petitioner would like to also thank all the lawyers at Messrs. Adnan Sundra and Lau, who gave her the guidance, taught her with patience, and imparted their knowledge to her. The petitioner is especially grateful to her peers in the legal fraternity and in other industry for being her anchor and support in trying times. The petitioner is also extremely thankful to me, her mover today, who has graciously agreed to take time out of my busy schedule to move a call. Lastly, my lady, the petitioner would like to thank all of those not specifically mentioned here in this speech, as there are just too many kind souls in her life who had been there for her throughout this tough journey. The petitioner is immensely grateful to them. Based on the training that the petitioner had undergone throughout the 9 months period, I believe that the petitioner is a fit and proper person to be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor of the High Court of Malaya. Yang Arif, saya percaya bahawa semua surat cara pempetisyen adalah teratur. Saya juga percaya bahawa pempetisyen adalah seorang yang berkelayakan menurut Akta Profession Undang-Undang 1976 dan bahawa rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang mewakili semua badan-badan yang berkenaan tidak ada sebarang bantahan terhadap petisyen ini, Yang Arif.
Ya, izin Yang Arif, Peguam Negara tak ada bantahan, Yang Arif.
Yang Arif, Majlis Peguam Malaysia tidak ada sebarang bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur juga tiada bantahan.
Oleh itu, Yang Arif, dengan izin, saya dengan rendah diri memohon suatu perintah agar pempetisyen Secara diterima masuk dan didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya, Yang Arif.
Mahkamah dengan ini membenarkan permohonan pempetisyen dan menerima masuk Secara sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya
dan juga memerintahkan nama Shen Sarah dan penerimaannya didaftaraikan oleh pendaftar.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya memohon untuk pempetisyen menyarungkan jubah dengan sendiri Yang Arif.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Congratulations, Ms. Shen, and thank you, Ms. Eng.
Terima kasih Arif.
Seterusnya, Pempetisyen kedua WA-18-995-09/2021 Siu Yu Wun.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Siu Yu Wun, Pempetisyen kedua.
Yes.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Tan Sung Ling, Peguam pengusul yang mewakili pempetisyen kedua Cik Siu Yu Wun. Pada hari ini, rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang mewakili Jabatan Peguam Negara, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur telah diperkenalkan kepada Yang Arif sebelum ini. Dengan izin Yang Arif, mohon kebenaran untuk memberi hujahan saya dalam bahasa Inggeris Yang Arif.
Dipersilakan.
My lady, the petitioner was born in 1988 in Kuala Lumpur and is the youngest of 4 children to the late Mr. Siu Noorin and Madam Tan Guat Siu. The petitioner read law under the University of London through an external program as a part-time student and granted with honours in 2012. In fact, what actually drives her to these special days goes way back when she was only 17 years old. While waiting for her SPM result, she was working as a conveyancing clerk in a conveyancing legal firm. And from there, she took a great interest in land law. And thus, she embarked her journey of becoming a lawyer. The petitioner then proceeded to the dreaded CLP, which she only completes in 2021. Despite multiple failures, she never once did give up, although she did mention that the repetition of CLP exam doing the same thing and the same way over and over again did almost drive her nuts. At last, with her perseverance, she finally did it. And she always have this quote from Winston Churchill: success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. The petition then had the honor of doing her pupillage under the tutelage of my dear friend, Mr. Yao Ken Leong from Ken Yao and Dang, which the petitioner has actually started with the firm in 2016. The petitioner's master were of the view that out of many petitioners' good character, 2 of them will actually stand out. One of them is independent and she is a very initiative as a lawyer of today. An example of her initiatives had to do with her recent meeting with the land office for the firm's client's case, where her master earlier suggested to call instead of getting a meeting with the land office, but the petitioner went way ahead and went over to the land office and actually make the meeting done. The other thing was she would actually look for more work to do even when she had finished hers. This is a rarity these days. My lady, on this special day, the petitioner expressed her utmost gratitude to her family, to her mom and her siblings. There are no words express how thankful she is for her undying support and endless love to the petitioner. The petitioner also would like to thank her master, Mr. Yao Ken Leong, for the guidance and opportunity given to her at the time during her privilege, and also to thank all the partners and staff of the firm. My lady, I believe the petitioners are in order and humbly and submit belief that the petitioner, Siu Yu Wun, is of excellent character and is fit and proper person to be called and admitted to the bar. And my learned friends representing the respective bodies has no objection to this petitioner.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Peguam Negara tiada bantahan Yang Arif.
Yang Arif, Majlis Peguam Malaysia tidak ada sebarang bantahan.
Dengan izin Arif, Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur juga tiada bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya dengan rendah diri memohon bahawa pempetisyen kedua Cik Siu Yu Wun diterima masuk dan didaftarai sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Mahkamah dengan ini membenarkan permohonan pempetisyen dan menerima masuk Siu Yu Wun sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya dan juga memerintahkan nama Xiao Yu Bun dan penerimaannya didaftaraikan oleh pendaftar.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. Dengan izin sekali memohon kebenaran mahkamah untuk Pempetisyen menjubahkan dirinya sendiri.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Congratulations, Miss Xiao. Well done.
Thank you.
And thank you, Miss Tan.
Thank you.
Seterusnya, Pempetisyen ketiga WA18-1009-9/2021 Pisan Vilana Minin.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Fisan Vilana Minin, Pempetisyen yang ketiga.
Yes.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Gabriel Daniel hadir bagi pihak Pempetisyen ketiga Fisan Vilana Minin, rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang mewakili yang berbahagia Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia, Jabatan Peguam Kuala Lumpur adalah seperti mana yang telah diperkenalkan sebentar tadi. Dengan izin Yang Arif, pohon kebenaran untuk meneruskan dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Dipersilakan.
Milady, your petitioner Faisan Vilana Minin was born on 5th March 1997 in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, the first child of Mr. Minin Bolong and Madam Chua Suisin, close friends of mine and a remarkable couple. Faisan had her early education in SJKC Chonghua Likas Sabah before continuing her secondary education at SMK St. Mary Kuala Lumpur, where her mother taught as a teacher. In her adolescence, your petitioner was adamant about not wanting to be a doctor, lawyer, and engineer like everybody else. She moved herself to the art stream with the intention of pursuing a career in mass communication or the social sciences. She wanted to serve those around her and perceived a career in communications as the way forward. Well, in her A-level years, she took up English literature, psychology, divinity, and law. Ironically, she found the last, which is law, to be the most difficult and uninteresting subject and was set on discontinuing the course after her first examination. However, her law lecturer, Miss Lu Siat Ping, saw an innate passion for intellectual challenge and problem solving in your petitioner and encouraged her to continue. Her parents also encouraged her to shadow me, which she called Uncle Gabriel, at my law firm for an experience of the law. It was a time of learning, reading, and exposure on a range of things: law, history, human dynamics, and of course, business. At the end of her stint, she decided that she would complete her A-levels after all in law, and that a legal career was something that she would gravitate to. She was persuaded by what William Orwell, an American Supreme Court judge, said, that common sense often made good law. Well, your petitioner completed her A-levels as an outstanding scholar and received a book prize for law. Thereafter, she pursued and completed her Bachelor of Laws at the University of Leeds, graduating with first-class honors in 2019. She was determined to serve in her Negaraku. To that end, she returned to Malaysian soil and took up the certificate in legal practice, passing this most difficult examination in 2021 at her first attempt. She then underwent pupillage in Wong and Partners under the tutelage of Miss Chew Kep Ying. My lady, on this momentous occasion, the petitioner would like to express her deepest gratitude foremost to her parents, Minin Bolong and Chua Suisin, for their continued prayer, love, and support. She saw how much they sacrificed for her, and she is truly grateful for their unwavering support. Your petitioner is also grateful to her sisters, Fei Bethany Minin and Feiji Natalie Minin. The petitioner would also like to thank all her wonderful friends for their support, prayer, and companionship. If not for time constraints, she would pay special tribute to each one of them. A special note of appreciation as well to her pupil master, Miss Chew Kep Ying, and all staff at Wong and Partners for the 9 months of rigorous yet valuable training. Not forgetting her fellow pupil mates too for all their support through the grueling 9 months. She would like to record her thanks to the Wednesday doc brief Group and representatives from the KL Legal Aid Center as well. The 14 weeks of voluntary legal aid has been in fact impactful on your petitioner, where through it her genuine passion to serve people developed even more, particularly for those who could not otherwise afford legal services. Your petitioner would like to thank Ms. Lu Siaping and me, Uncle Gabriel, for their encouragement at the very beginning of her legal education, where she wanted to give up. Without these two individuals, the petitioner may not have continued and pursued the legal profession. And above all, the petitioner would like to thank God for his continued grace and blessing, for without him, she would not have been able to persevere through these years. She dedicates her life, her years ahead in the profession to his greater glory. Today marks the culmination of many years of sacrifice and hard work, and it is the beginning of the full-time course in the University of Life, where the tests and rewards are equally demanding, if not more. May your humble petitioner carry the cases assigned to her with great virtues, passion, and sharpness of mind. With that, my lady, we pray for blessings and wisdom upon your humble petitioner in the days ahead in the legal profession. My lady, I believe that the petitioner is a fit and proper person to be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor of the High Court of Malaya pursuant to the Legal Profession Act 1976, and all the course papers are in order. I believe there are no objections from the various bodies to this petition as well, my lady.
Dan izin Yang Arif, Peguam Negara tak ada bantahan Yang Arif.
Majlis Peguam Malaysia tidak ada sebarang bantahan, Yang Arif.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jawatankuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur juga tiada bantahan.
I therefore humbly move this Honourable Court to admit and enroll the petitioner Faisan Vilana Minin as an advocate and solicitor of the High Court of Malaya, Milady.
Mahkamah dengan ini membenarkan permohonan pempetisyen dan menerima masuk Faisan Vilana Minin sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya, dan juga memerintahkan nama Faisan Vilana Minin dan penerimaannya didaftaraikan oleh pendaftar.
Terima kasih, Ya Arif. Ya Arif, pohon untuk pempetisyen menjubahkan diri sendiri.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih, Ya Arif.
Terima kasih, Yang Arif.
Thank you, congratulations, young lady, and thank you, Mr. Gabriel Daniel.
I'm obliged.
Pempetisyen keempat WA-18 dan 1017 dan 09/2021 Li Jiayi.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Li Jiayi, pempetisyen keempat.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Chan Man Fai, Peguam Pengusul yang mewakili pihak pempetisyen Li Jiayi. Rakan-rakan bijaksana saya dari Jabatan Peguam Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia, Jawatankuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur adalah seperti mana yang dikenalkan sebentar tadi, Yang Arif. Hari ini ditetapkan untuk pendengaran petisyen penerimaan masuk Pempetisyen sebagai Peguam Bela Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya. Dan untuk tujuan itu, saya mohon kebenaran Mahkamah yang mulia ini untuk memperkenalkan pempetisyen dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih, Yang Arif. My lady, a brief background on the petitioner, Li Jiayi. The petitioner was born on the 29th October 1995 in Kuala Lumpur, and she is the eldest child of Mr. Lee Sian Ing and Madam Chen Feng Hui. The petitioner graduated from SMK Puteri Seremban before pursuing her tertiary education in Brickfields Asia College. In 2017, the petitioner graduated with a Bachelor of Laws, LLB, from the University of London with a second-class honours. She then obtained her certificate in legal practice, CLP, in year 2021. My lady, the petitioner has come a long way to be with us today. Her road to success was never an easy one. On this momentous occasion, the petitioner would like to express her gratitude towards her master, Mr. Lee Siang Yek, for providing her with opportunities and guidance throughout her pupillage. The petitioner would also like to thank all her colleagues in Mrs. Ramesh Dipindra, Jeremiah Law, for all their assistance along a continuing journey in this profession. Separately, the petitioner would also like to take this opportunity to express her gratitude towards both her parents for their unconditional love, support, and encouragement and sacrifice they have made in giving their best to the petitioner. Not forgetting to also thank her sister, Jalin, for being the happy pill that can always cheer the petitioner up when she is having a hard time. Besides that, the petitioner would also like to specially thank all her friends who have supported her throughout this journey and always being there for her through thick and thin. To name a few of them, Pui Kwan, Zhi Hong, and Ziling. My lady, I believe the petitioner is a fit and proper person to be admitted as an advocate and a solicitor of the High Court of Malaya. It is also my belief that the petitioner's papers are in order and that my learned friends from the Attorney General's chambers, the Bar Council, and Kuala Lumpur Bar Committee have no objection to the cause. Dengan itu, saya dengan rendah diri pohon supaya pempetisyen dijayai, diterima masuk dan didaftarai sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Izin Arif, bukan negara tak ada bantahan ya Arif.
Yang Arif, Majlis Peguam Malaysia tidak ada sebarang bantahan.
Dengan izin Arif, Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur juga tiada bantahan.
Mahkamah dengan ini membenarkan permohonan pempetisyen dan menerima masuk Li Jiayi sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya dan juga memerintahkan nama Li Jiayi dan penerimaannya didaftaraikan oleh pendaftar.
Terima kasih, Yang Arif. Dengan itu, saya mohon kebenaran untuk pempetisyen menjubahkan dirinya.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih, Yang Arif.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Terima kasih, Yang Arif.
Congratulations, Ms. Lee, and thank you, Mr. Chan.
Much obliged, Yang Arif.
Seterusnya, pempetisyen kelima WA-18-1087-09/2021 Oscar Tang Chi Ken.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Oscar Tang Chi Ken, pempetisyen yang kelima.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Eng Hui Huang yang hadir bagi pihak pempetisyen kelima, Oscar Tang Chi Ken, dan rakan-rakan bijaksana yang masing-masing mewakili yang berbahagia Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur yang telah diperkenalkan sebelum ini. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya ingin memohon untuk teruskan ucapan ini dalam bahasa Inggeris, Yang Arif.
Dipersilakan, Ms. Eng.
Terima kasih, Yang Arif. Yang Arif, may I introduce the petitioner, Mr. Oscar Tang Chi Ken, born on the 15th day of October 1998 into a loving family. The petitioner would like to take this opportunity to thank his parents, Tang Yut Ling and Yap Sui Yok, as well as his sisters, Petra, Deborah, and Sandra, for their unconditional support on his journey to be admitted as an advocate and solicitors of the High Court of Malaya. Since the age of 15, my lady, the petitioner had decided on this path to become a lawyer, and this then led to the petitioner to read law in Multimedia University. Upon his graduation, the petitioner started his journey as a pupil with Messrs. Hafarizam Wan and Aisha Mubarak under the tutelage and guidance of his master Datuk Wan Azmil, the senior partner of the firm, Datuk Wira Hafarizam Harun, and the senior associates Hazira Abu Hayyan, Sarika Roshlina, and Amin Osman, all of whom the petitioner is eternally thankful for their guidance and advice. The petitioner would also like to thank Dixon, Darren, and Renice, who stood by his side and believed in him throughout his journey. Furthermore, the petitioner is also thankful to Fion, Mariam, Reina, Lam, and Vinny, who were always there for the good times and bad times in university. The petitioner will always cherish the memory of studying together and playing board games with them. The petitioner is also thankful to Damila, Nick, Aina, Salva, Atika for being such amazing pupilmates throughout his pupillage. Last but not least, the petitioner is blessed and thankful to his beloved better half, Jacqueline Yong, for loving him unconditionally and being his pillar of strength for the past 6 years. The petitioner would not have made it today without her encouragement and support, and of course with some good home-cooked food all this while. Yang Arif, saya percaya bahawa semua surat cara pempetisyen adalah teratur. Saya juga percaya bahawa pempetisyen adalah seorang yang berkelayakan menurut Akta Profession, Undang-Undang 1976, dan bahawa rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang mewakili semua badan-badan yang berkenaan tidak ada sebarang bantahan terhadap petisyen ini, Yang Arif.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Peguam Negara tiada bantahan Yang Arif.
Majlis Peguam Malaysia tidak ada sebarang bantahan Yang Arif.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jawatan-Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur juga tiada bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, oleh yang demikian, saya dengan rendah diri memohon suatu perintah agar pempetisyen Oscar Tang Cikin diterima masuk dan didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya, Yang Arif.
Mahkamah dengan ini membenarkan permohonan pempetisyen dan menerima masuk Oscar Tang Cikin sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya dan juga memerintahkan nama Oscar Tang Cikin dan penerimaannya didaftaraikan oleh pendaftar.
Terima kasih, Yang Arif. Dengan izin Arif, saya memohon agar pempetisyen menjumpakan diri sendiri, Yang Arif.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih, Yang Arif.
Congratulations, young man. And thank you again, Miss An.
Terima kasih, Yang Arif.
Pempetisyen ke-6 WE-18-1141-09/2021 Aidil Rizal bin Muhammad Rizwan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Aidil Rizal bin Muhammad Rizwan, pempetisyen ke-6.
Yes.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Ayub bin Yazid. Muncul pada kali ini untuk mewakili pempetisyen ke-6 Aidil Rizal bin Muhammad Rizwan.
It's good to have you again, Encik Ayub, before this spot today.
Terima kasih, Arif. Bersama-sama saya adalah rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang mewakili yang berbahagia Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan-Kuasa Peguam Selangor sebagaimana yang telah diperkenalkan sebentar tadi, Arif. Yang Arif, sebagaimana biasa, izinkan saya terlebih dahulu memperkenalkan pempetisyen kepada Mahkamah yang mulia ini. Yang Arif, pempetisyen merupakan anak kedua daripada 3 orang adik-beradik dan telah dilahirkan di Hospital Besar Kangar, Perlis pada tanggal 28 Ogos 1997 kepada pasangan Encik Muhammad Rizwan bin Daud dan Puan Zarina binti Yusuf. Pempetisyen telah mendapat pendidikan rendah di Sekolah Kebangsaan Kuala Perlis dan pendidikan menengah di Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Kuala Perlis. Pempetisyen kemudiannya telah menyambung pembelajarannya ke peringkat tingkatan 6 iaitu Sijil Tinggi Persekolahan Malaysia di Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Said Alwi Kangar sebelum menamatkan pengajian tingginya di Universiti Utara Malaysia pada tahun 2021. Setelah itu, bermula pada bulan September 2021, pempetisyen telah memulakan latihan dalam kamarnya di Tetuan Fahri Azad Engko di bawah bimbingan dan seliaan rakan bijaksana saya, Encik Fahri Azad. Ya Arif, pada hari yang berbahagia ini, pempetisyen ingin memanjatkan setinggi-tinggi kesyukuran ke hadrat Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala kerana dengan limpah kurnianya dan keizinannya, pempetisyen telah dapat menyempurnakan latihan dalam kamar selama 9 bulan, Ya Arif. Pempetisyen merasakan dirinya bertuah kerana dapat memulakan latihan dalam kamarnya di Tetuan Fahri Azad Engko dan sepanjang keberadaan pempetisyen di situ, pempetisyen telah banyak diberi peluang dan didedahkan dengan pelbagai kes litigasi sivil dan juga jenayah yang mana kesemuanya merupakan satu pengalaman yang banyak memberi impan. 9 bulan latihan dalam kamarnya, pempetisyen turut didedahkan dengan kes-kes syariah yang akhirnya, kata pempetisyen, telah menimbulkan minat kepada beliau untuk mengamalkan undang-undang syariah dan seterusnya telah mendaftarkan dirinya untuk program Diploma Lepasan Ijazah Syariah dan Amalan DSLA. Pada kesempatan ini, pempetisyen ingin mengucapkan berbanyak terima kasih kepada seluruh warga kerja di Tetuan Fahri Azad Engko di atas segala peluang, didikan dan pengalaman yang sememangnya telah mematangkan pempetisyen. Seterusnya, pada hari yang bermakna ini, pempetisyen ingin mengambil kesempatan untuk mendedikasikan sepenuhnya kejayaan pempetisyen kepada seluruh ahli keluarga pempetisyen, terutama kedua-dua ibu bapa pempetisyen Puan Zarina binti Yusuf dan Encik Muhammad Rizwan bin Daud, serta Abang Pempetisyen Amal Rukaini bin Muhammad Rizwan, Kak Long Pempetisyen Yuslizawati binti Mak Yusof dan juga ibu saudara Pempetisyen Puan Wan Kalsum binti Yusof yang merupakan insan-insan pertama yang menjadi tunggak dan tulang belakang Pempetisyen selama ini. Pempetisyen ingin mengambil peluang ini untuk mengucapkan jutaan terima kasih yang tidak terhingga kepada insan-insan tersebut kerana kejayaan yang disaksikan pada hari ini bermula dari kata nasihat, sokongan dan doa yang tidak pernah putus daripada mereka. Semangat mereka itulah yang membolehkan Pempetisyen berdiri di sini pada hari ini, membalas segala setiap satu pengorbanan mereka terhadap Pempetisyen. Tanpa mereka, Pempetisyen tidak mungkin dapat pergi sejauh ini. Pempetisyen seterusnya ingin mendedikasikan khas kejayaan Pempetisyen pada hari ini kepada sahabat-sahabat seperjuangan Pempetisyen, iaitu Khairul Anwar, Muhammad Irsyad, Nur Afira Alia, Sharifah, Hazirah, Nur Ashidah, Syamimi, Raihanah, Nur Syuhada, Nur Hafizah dan juga kepada Nur Afikah dan Alif Haikal yang sentiasa bersama-sama Pempetisyen pada saat jatuh dan bangun dari zaman belajar sehingga ke hari ini. Terima kasih juga diucapkan kepada rakan taulan dan sahabat anda yang lain. Segala jasa dan budi kalian tidak mungkin Pempetisyen lupakan. Tahniah buat kita kerana kita berjaya menempuh cabaran ini dengan jayanya. Pempetisyen juga ingin menzahirkan penghargaannya kepada seluruh warga pendidik yang dihormati, itu guru-guru sekolah Pempetisyen dan juga kepada pensyarah-pensyarah Pusat Pengajian Undang-Undang UUM yang sentiasa mendoakan kejayaan Pempetisyen. Terima kasih Cikgu, Sir dan Madam atas segala didikan ilmu yang dicurahkan kepada Pempetisyen. Jasa dan budi kalian sentiasa diingatan dan tidak mungkin dapat dilupakan sepanjang hayat Pempetisyen. Yang Arif, sebelum mengakhiri ucapan Pempetisyen memohon untuk saya mendeklamasikan serangkap pantun sebagai penutup kepada ucapan penghargaan Pempetisyen buat semua. Dengan izinnya Arif. Pohon sirih, pohon selasih, tumbuh merimbun di hujung laman. Kalungan budi, junjungan kasih menjadi kenangan sepanjang zaman. Dengan itu ya Arif, saya percaya bahawa Pempetisyen adalah seorang yang berkelayakan di bawah Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976 dan kesemua kertas Pempetisyen adalah sempurna dan teratur. Saya juga percaya bahawa rakan-rakan bijaksana saya mewakili badan-badan yang berkenaan tiada bantahan terhadap petisyen ini. Oleh yang demikian ya Arif, saya dengan rendah diri memohon agar suatu perintah Pempetisyen Aidil Rizal bin Muhammad Rizwan diterima masuk dan didaftaraikan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Kuala. Mohon diperkenankan ya Arif.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Peguam Negara tiada bantahan Yang Arif.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Majlis Peguam Malaysia tidak ada sebarang bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Selangor juga tiada bantahan.
Mahkamah dengan ini membenarkan permohonan Pempetisyen dan menerima masuk Aidil Rizal binti Muhammad Rizwan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya dan juga memerintahkan nama Aidil Rizal bin Muhammad Rizwan dan penerimaannya didaftaraikan oleh pendaftar.
Terima kasih Ya Arif. Ya Arif, saya dengan rendah diri mohon keizinan untuk Pempetisyen menyarungkan jubahnya sendiri.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Ya Arif.
Tahniah Aidil Rizal and terima kasih Cik Ayub.
Masya-Allah.
Seterusnya Pempetisyen terakhir, Pempetisyen ke-7 WA 18 dan 1949 dan 11/2019 Radika anak perempuan Mariapan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Radika anak perempuan Mariapan, Pempetisyen ke-7.
Yes.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Nimalan Devaraja mewakili Pempetisyen dan rakan-rakan terbelajar saya yang mewakili yang berbahagia Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur telah diperkenalkan terlebih dahulu. Ini adalah petisyen penerimaan masuk Pempetisyen Radika anak perempuan Mariapan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya memohon kebenaran untuk meneruskan di dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Please proceed, Mr. Nimalan.
If it pleases my lady, it is rare that one has the pleasure to move the call of someone already so accomplished in the legal industry. Today, I have that pleasure. The petitioner, Ms. Radhika Anak Perempuan Mariapan, was born and raised in Kepong, Kuala Lumpur. The petitioner informs me that from her early years, she always knew that she wanted to be a lawyer. This is as she grasped, even during her formative years, that the rule of law is a powerful thing, one meant to apply to all citizens equally and govern their conduct. Therefore, what is important is the manner in which we protect it and use it to protect others. It was therefore a cherished moment for the petitioner when she passed the necessary interviews and admissions exams to gain admittance to the prestigious law program of the National University in Singapore. Despite being over 300 kilometers away from home, not familiar with another soul, the petitioner gathered the courage to jump into the deep end and undertake this journey. Her 4 years experience in NUS was challenging as expected, but insightful as it helped the petitioner grow as a whole, not just academically. The competitive nature of her cohort was eye-opening, and the learning standards and questioning skills, especially in moods, took her by surprise initially. As time went on, the petitioner learned how to be more open with her opinions, be stern and concise with the questioning, all of which positively impacted her already burgeoning confidence. The petitioner built long-lasting relationships and valuable friendships with many of her peers with whom she still comes across today. The petitioner graduated from the National University of Singapore in 2009 and completed her postgraduate practical law course in law in Singapore in the same year. Petitioner was then admitted to the Singapore Bar. As a practicing lawyer, the petitioner began her journey as a legal practitioner in several firms in Singapore before, in April 2017, departing as a partner from her then firm to incorporate Fidelis Law Corporation in Singapore. During her practice in Singapore, the petitioner gained vast experience and made great leaps in the areas of construction, engineering, and commercial litigation and arbitration. Among her achievements before the Singapore courts, a treasured moment was successfully arguing relatively early on in her practice an appeal as sole counsel before the Court of Appeal of Singapore, presided over by the Chief Justice in a construction adjudication matter. Despite carving a successful path for herself in Singapore, home always tugged at the heartstrings of the petitioner. It is therefore unsurprising that the petitioner always had the desire and goal to be admitted as an advocate and solicitor in Malaysia. Unfortunately, with the busy schedule of practicing lawyer, which we are all familiar with, she did not have the time or opportunity to do so earlier. Both presented themselves in late 2019, and the petitioner grasped it. From the Lion City, the petitioner returned home to commence her pupillage with the Seremban Tiger, as my learned friend Mr. Yo Tung Sing is commonly known. During her time at the chambers of Mazes Yo and Joanne, the petitioner was instilled with what Mr. Yo calls the 3 C's, being clear, concise, and correct. From Mr. Yo, the petitioner observed the importance of being meticulous and prepared well in advance for matters, all part of a good work ethic that a petitioner appreciated seeing in her pupil master. The petitioner also enjoyed learning and discussing the differences in practice within Malaysia and Singapore with the lawyers at Mazes Yo and Johan during her pupillage. Here, my lady, it is apt for me to mention a quote from the Charles Dickens novel, The Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief, it was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light, it was a season of darkness. It was the spring of hope, it was the winter of despair. What is undeniable, my lady, is it that throughout any of these times mentioned, the role of a lawyer to protect the law and others would always be equally important. Having completed her pupillage, the petitioner now stands on the cusp of being duly qualified to assist people at all times across 2 cities to achieve these objectives. My lady, the petitioner wishes to thank, firstly, her mother for her unending love and support, and secondly, the solicitors in the chambers of Messrs. Yo and Joanne for their invaluable training and guidance during pupillage. Based on the training that the petitioner had undergone throughout 9 months, I have no doubt whatsoever that the petitioner is indeed a fit and proper person to be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor of the High Court of Malaya. Equally, I have no doubt that the Malaysian legal industry will benefit from having one of our own crossing back across the causeway to practice on our shores. Yang Arif, saya percaya bahawa surat cara Pempetisyen adalah lengkap dan teratur. Saya difahamkan bahawa rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang mewakili badan-badan berkenaan tidak mempunyai apa-apa bantahan terhadap petisyen ini. Saya juga sesungguhnya percaya bahawa Pempetisyen adalah seorang yang berkelayakan menurut Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976. Oleh yang demikian, saya dengan rendah diri memohon kepada Mahkamah yang mulia ini suatu perintah agar Pempetisyen Radika Anak Perempuan Mariapan dapat diterima masuk dan didaftaraikan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Peguam Negara tiada bantahan Yang Arif.
Yang Arif, Majlis Peguam Malaysia tidak ada sebarang bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya mengesahkan kata-kata Peguam Pengusul bahawa jawatan kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur tiada bantahan.
Mahkamah dengan ini membenarkan permohonan Pempetisyen dan menerima masuk Radika Anak Perempuan Mariapan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya dan juga memerintahkan nama Radika Anak Perempuan Mariapan dan penerimaannya didaftaraikan oleh pendaftar.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya memohon agar pihak Pempetisyen Radika Anak Perempuan Mariapan dibenarkan untuk menjubahkan diri sendiri.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Congratulations, Ms. Radika, and thank you again, Mr. Nimalan, for being in court for the second time today.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
It's a pleasure to have you before the court.
Dengan ini saya menjemput Yang Arif Hakim untuk memberikan ucapan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Cik Naila Ilhani, binti Datuk Seri Syamsul Bahari, Peguam Persekutuan Wakil kepada Yang Berbahagia Peguam Negara Malaysia, Ms. S. Malar, thank you again. Wakil Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Cik Wira Primananda. Thank you again for being with us today. Wakil Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur, Peguam-peguam pengusul yang bijaksana. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang saya hormati sekalian, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat sejahtera. Saya berbesar hati kerana diberikan kesempatan untuk memberikan ucapan dalam majlis ini. Terima kasih pertama sekali saya ucapkan di atas kehadiran dan komitmen yang diberikan oleh para peguam pengusul yang bijaksana yang sudi mengusul permohonan Pempetisyen pada hari ini. Sesungguhnya komitmen yang ditunjukkan oleh tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, para peguam pengusul dan juga wakil-wakil badan-badan yang bertanggungjawab adalah merupakan contoh yang terbaik mengenai komitmen seorang peguam yang ditunjukkan kepada para Pempetisyen kita pada hari ini. Tahniah juga saya ucapkan kepada peguam pengajar, para Pempetisyen yang telah mencurahkan ilmu membimbing para Pempetisyen dan memperkenalkan mereka ke bidang kepeguaman ini. tahniah di atas kelahiran anak didik tuan-tuan dan puan-puan pada hari ini. Saya percaya majlis ini adalah satu acara yang penting dan wajar dikongsikan bersama dengan penuh kesyukuran dan kegembiraan bersama keluarga dan rakan-rakan para pempetisyen yang semestinya bangga untuk bersama mereka hadir ke mahkamah pada hari ini walaupun secara visual. Tidak ramai orang yang suka ke mahkamah, namun saya berharap kehadiran tuan-tuan dan puan-puan terutamanya para ibu bapa, para pempetisyen kita ke mahkamah secara visual pada hari ini adalah satu momen dan pengalaman yang menggembirakan dan akan melakarkan satu kenangan yang indah bukan sahaja kepada para pempetisyen tetapi juga seluruh ahli keluarga dan insan-insan yang mereka sayangi. Kepada semua ibu bapa, para pempetisyen yang hadir pada hari ini, saya mengucapkan setinggi-tinggi tahniah kerana apa yang terlaksana dan dikecapi oleh kesemua pempetisyen kita pada hari ini tidak akan terlaksana dan tercapai tanpa pengorbanan, kasih sayang dan doa ibu bapa mereka. Setinggi-tinggi tahniah saya ucapkan sekali lagi kepada para ibu bapa pempetisyen. Allow me to now address the newly admitted advocates and solicitor of the High Court of Malaya. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the entire judiciary, I congratulate you on your admissions to the legal profession. You are now one step closer to practicing law because you still have to wait for me to sign your certificate. I'll do that after this, yes? Thereafter, you will become real advocate and solicitor and not just fictional characters on the page. You're going to work where this job of yours will affect the lives of others rather than just your grades. This is an important and auspicious occasion for all of you who have been called to the Malaysian Bar and admitted. You have graduated from law school and have passed all the necessary examinations. For the duration of your legal studies and your pupillage period, you have undoubtedly been inundated with advice and lectures by professors, teachers, and employers of legal ethics, court procedures, negotiation tactics, and court etiquette. Treasure and value what you have gained and be grateful to those people who have supported you, especially your parents. You have the right to be proud as you have struggled this far to earn this noble profession. So make your loved ones be proud of you, not only of who you are today, but also in the future. The bar, ladies and gentlemen, is a demanding profession. And bear in mind that the ability to practice as an advocate and solicitor is not a right, but a privilege afforded by the legislation, specifically the Legal Profession Act and all the relevant subsidiary legislation. Ladies and gentlemen, you have chosen to be part of the justice system. Lawyers, as guardians of the law, play a vital role in the preservation of society. The judiciary and the individual judges are not the entire repository of justice. They are neither the sole guardians nor custodians of justice within the justice system. Both the judiciary and the lawyers play a very significant role. As Fali Nariman, the renowned jurist, stated, and I quote, "If an independent judiciary is the backbone of the rule of law, as it has been often described, then an independent legal profession is the catalyst that helps achieve it," unquote. The fulfillment of this role requires an understanding by lawyers of their relationship with and their function in our legal system. They are first and foremost officers of the court. Now, this is a role of paramount importance within the justice system because they assist, lawyers assist the court to arrive at a just decision. It is the lawyer who sets out the factual basis for a dispute, the complaint of his client, who conducts the trial in accordance with the principles of natural justice and significantly provides guidance to the court in relation to the law. In undertaking these duties, a lawyer's primary and overriding duty is owed to the court. It is therefore of fundamental importance for lawyers to comprehend and accept that while they are agents for their clients who pay them for the work they undertake, their cardinal duty is to ensure that their presentation of their client's case and the law is honest, relevant, and of sufficient competence to assist the court. In short, lawyers are constrained to maintain the highest standards of ethical conduct. If they fail to abide by these fundamental duties, there is a direct and immediate consequence, namely that the administration of justice is undermined. Conduct yourself truly and honestly in the practice of an advocate and solicitor according to the best of your knowledge and ability and according to law. Remember that the very principle of which the legal profession is founded is upon trust. You are now advocates of the rule of law and representatives of the legal profession. Your clients will place their trust, finances, and to a certain extent their liberty in your hands. You must maintain and adhere to the highest standard of integrity and trustworthiness expected of a lawyer, and you must do your utmost best to preserve the integrity of the legal profession. Prove your worthiness and reliability for the future. Honesty is the paramount attribute of an advocate and solicitor, for no man seeks the service of the person who cannot be trusted, irrespective of his abilities or academic achievements. As advocate and solicitor, one must be uncompromising in his responsibility to be honorable at all times and in all circumstances. Ladies and gentlemen, your knowledge of the law, at least the practical side of it, is very little at the moment. The law is a profession of lifelong learning, and the best lawyers are those who learn all the time. Unless you work at it continually, it may still not be very much at the end of your career. A lawyer can never truthfully say they have learned enough. And that day he says that, he must retire. May I remind you, ladies and gentlemen, there will be many roadblocks and obstacles along the way in order to achieve success. Apart from ability, strong determination and firm commitment are required. Through years of hard work and dedicated work, you have achieved this milestone in your life. This is only the beginning, and there is a lot more to explore and acquire before you can call yourself a successful lawyer. So, ladies and gentlemen, there are many virtues and good practices to be followed at the bar to guide you along your professional career. Yes, beside the Legal Profession Act, of course, there's this active ethics and etiquette rules and bar council rulings. If you follow these rules and rulings, you will no doubt be kept to the straight path and will never have to face the wrath and agony of having to appear before the disciplinary board. Let me tell you, it's not nice, right? So apart from the blueprints, you have the senior advocates and solicitors such as your masters, the movers today for that matter, that you can take as example of what to be and perhaps sometimes not to be. Yeah, spend some time to witness how outstanding advocates and solicitors conduct their cases in court, as you will learn a lot from them. Remember always that you are an officer of the court, and it is your bounden duty to uphold the rule of law, good conscience and practices, and to act truly and reasonably at all times. Lawyers have a duty to the cause of justice itself. Lawyers must never, never suppress the truth or distort the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, I am certain each and every one of you will feel so relieved that the whole ceremony is going to be over so soon, and that you have been robed to mark your admission into this noble profession. Wear those robes that you have just put on with pride and honor. Savor this moment, because the best is yet to come when you start facing the challenges waiting for you outside there. So because Encik Ayub is here, so I'm constrained to also give you sama pantun. Yes, Cik Ayub, kan? I pun tak nak kalah lah. So, ladies and gentlemen, kalau mencari buah asam, biar lebih jangan kurang. Kuatkan semangat, tingkatkan azam, mudah-mudahan berjaya dengan cemerlang. Kalau mencari buah asam, biar lebih jangan kurang. Mendaki tangga dah jadi adat resam untuk sampai ke puncak sarang. Kalau mencari buah asam, biar lebih jangan berkurang. Rajin berusaha siang dan malam, tangga kejayaan pasti datang. Kalau mencari buah asam, biar lebih jangan kurang. Rajin, tekad, sabar dan iltizam, kejayaan pasti akan menjelang. So with that in mind, and with the grace of the Almighty, I wish you the very best of luck. welcome to the arena and hope to see you in court one day as learned counsels. For your kind attendance and attention, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dan selamat sejahtera. Have a pleasant day ahead.